and thank you so much for joining me tonight. Tonight is another video when you're really short on time. This is a card you can make with a very little amount of time. So as per usual, we're going to use a ready-made card base. I've got a standard vanilla card base, and I'm using some watercolor cards. So I've just cut this little watercolor card panel to be the same width, but just slightly narrower, so it's not as wide. I'm using this Memento ink, which is just a pinky reddish kind of ink. And we are going to use this one ink pad for the whole entire project, apart from a little bit of white. I'm starting by smearing some of my ink onto my media mat and spraying it with water to activate it and make it more like a watercolor. So all I want to do is make a background right now. So I'm going to go ahead and use my heat tool to sort of dry it in between to save on time. And then I'm going to just keep picking up ink and keep picking up ink until I feel like I have a blotchy enough looking background and I'm happy with how it looks. I wanted a very kind of splotchy watercolor random background. Now to keep within using the same color, I'm going to put down some more ink. I'm going to pick it up next with my watercolor pen. So if you've got a paintbrush, that works really well. Just a paintbrush and a bit of water. Do the exact same thing. And then we're going to flick little specks all over the background. Now this isn't super noticeable. It's not like adding on another kind of ink, a different color. It doesn't pop massively, but that's what I wanted. I wanted a nice background that had a subtle hint of texture and different colors. So that's what I was going for, because we're about to stamp it in a minute, and the stamp is going to be the focal point, and the stamp is going to be the primary coloring. I'm putting it in my platform, my stamp platform, so I can press down several times. This is from Alina's shop. It's one of my new favorites. This is my first time using it, and I've been desperate to use it for ages, and I love it. It's a nice 6x6, I believe, or possibly 5x5 inch stamp set. And I'm going to go ahead and ink it up and just stamp it down. Now the little tool on the right, I'm just having to go with. Everyone seems to have these things, so I just went and ordered one of those air hockey table puck things, and that's what I'm using. I didn't care. It came, I think it cost me about £2 or £3, ordered it on Amazon, took ages to come, but it's the same. It's got some felt on it, works a treat. I'm enjoying it so far, but sometimes you still do need just a good bit of pressure pushing down. So this stamp set is great because it lines up on both sides, so you can just flip it around, line it up again, and do the other side if your cardstock is not wide enough like mine. It doesn't look amazing, but I was short on time. I was trying to craft in a really quick amount of space, and I'm not bothered by that little line on the right hand side. So to add some more texture into the background, because I felt like my splotches weren't enough, I'm going to go ahead and use my ink and stamp it on. But what I'm doing first is stamping off and then stamping onto my card. Now my footage cut out a bit, which is why you can see all the off stamping already on there, so sorry about that. So I'm just going ahead and stamping some sort of second generation stamping into the background to add a bit more texture. Then I've got this white, which I picked up from Pretty Gets Gritty. It's like a white acrylic paint, I think, possibly, and it's chalky white. So all I'm doing is using a paintbrush and just splodging it on. And this kind of absorbs a little bit of the pink color in the background, so it's not quite so white in the end. Once that's all dry, which I did heat set with my heat tool, I'm going to go ahead and stick it onto the front of my card. So really quick, really easy way to make a beautiful background, and because it's all the exact same color, it all goes really well together. You get some texture going on in the background, but you don't have that dimension. Now these are strips I pulled from my strip jar. I went ahead ages ago and made up a whole bunch of these really thin strips using my holographic card and then a sheet of double-sided tape. So I put the double-sided tape on the back of my holographic card, used my paper trimmer and just sliced really thin strips and then keep it on my desk. So these are easy peasy to grab. I don't have to worry about gluing them down. But basically, if you've got any kind of leftover scraps, cut little strips, glue them onto your front of your card to give a beautiful border. I had these on my desk as well, so grab those. If you've got hole punches, that will work as well. And I just went for two sizes of circle that I could layer onto each other so I could bring that holographic card back into the play again. And then this stamp set, so no longer available. I will try and link everything I use down below, but I know this one is not for sale anymore. And it's an oldie but a goodie, but I loved it and it was right there, and the stamps kind of coordinated with this big background stamp, so that's why I'm using it. Again, I'm using the exact same ink pad, and I'm doing the second generation stamping for my flowers because I want the focal point of this little element to be the happy birthday, not to be the whole entire thing. I didn't want it to be too overcrowded and in your face. So I'm doing kind of stamping off the side and then stamping onto my image. And this is a great way to add those extra little bits without getting too much color. I have these which Craftstash sent me as part of their design team, which I'm trying out, and they're quite fun. These triangle ones are a bit weird because it's like, well, how do I get my round finger in the triangle hole? But it works, and it kind of gives you a nice flat edge to work with rather than a round edge. So it was actually quite easy to do the ink blending on the edge of this with these. So I'll keep playing with them and I'll let you know how I get on, but they're quite fun. So I inked the edge of this to kind of sort of close off that top panel. It just didn't look like it was overly finished, so I decided to add on some extra ink. I have some metallic thread. Most of this is from AliExpress. I bought a big box for around £2 or £3 with a whole bunch of the colors, and it's all metallic thread, so it's quite fun. And I just picked the pink, dark pink one. And the way I apply this to my cards is I usually take some glue dots and stick them onto the back of my element that I want to put my thread behind. And then I kind of wrap the thread around my fingers and just pop it on the back and just stick it to those glue dots and tuck in all those ends that are sticking out. If I want it to get a little bit more frayed, I just fluff it up a bit. And then I use some dimensional pads on the back. You could just stick it straight down with glue if you wanted. And then stuck it on my card. And that is the whole entire card. So this took me less than half an hour to do. And it was really nice because I didn't need any other ink pad colors. I used what was on my desk and made do, and I'm pretty sure you could have a go as well and do the same thing. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. If you enjoyed it, please do like and subscribe. Drop me a comment. I am reading every single comment at the moment. I'm struggling to keep up with all of you and reply to all of them, but I do read all your comments. So I look forward to seeing you on Saturday night for some Saturday night crafting. See you then. Bye.